Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney and I am back from the Puyallup Sewing Expo. I learned how to say the name of the city. Back, and I just got back. So I'm filming this on Monday. You're watching it on Friday. We got back super late last night, which is why my voice sounds the way it sounds, just exhausted. There's a 3-hour time difference between the Tacoma, Puyallup area and where I live in Indianapolis area. And so between the jet lag, we got home just really late. We flew home. It was after 1 my time by the time I got into bed last night. So I am very tired, but I wanted to go ahead and film this just so I can give you my feedback on the expo and show you things I got. In addition to, I spent my birthday coupon with Stylemaker Fabrics in February, and I want to show you the 2 pieces of fabric that I grabbed from that as well. So we'll do a really quick recap of the Sew Expo, kind of my thought. This is my first time going. So kind of my thoughts and experience and all of that kind of thing. And then I will show you all the goodies that I got here. Okay, before we get into that though, today's Feature Friday. So the pattern for today for Love Notions is the Oakley, which is the women's vest, the Oakley vest, as well as the Acorn vest, which is the vest for the little girls. Perfect transitional piece. I mean, we just got back from Washington and vests were everywhere. Definitely the perfect transition piece as either if you're going into warmer weather or if you're going into cooler weather, depending on your hemisphere. But that pattern is $5 today only, and the code 10TKS will get you an additional 10% off that price. So you'll want to go grab that if that's one you've been eyeing. Okay, let's get into it. All right, so Jenny and I, we went to the Sew Expo, the sewing, is it the Sewing and Stitchery Sew Expo? I believe it's put on by the Washington State University, and it's held at the Washington State Fairgrounds in Puyallup, Washington, which is really close to Tacoma and just right outside of Seattle. It was like, I don't know, a 30-minute drive from the SeaTac airport to where the conference was held, the fairgrounds, and our hotel and all that kind of stuff. So kind of in that area, and I've heard just really great things about it. I know it's been going on for a lot of years, and I really just wanted to go experience it. So the purpose of this trip was a few things. I wanted to go take some classes with a couple people. I wanted to experience it, you know, the shopping, just the whole experience in and of itself. And I wanted a chance to talk to some vendors and brands and stuff for some past possible collaborations and things like that with the channel. Just kind of expanding things a little bit that way as well. And I think we ticked all of the boxes while we were there. Jenny and I got there. Jenny went with me and we went, got there late Wednesday night. And so we attended the conference on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then, excuse me, flew home yesterday. We just had such a wonderful time. So I did have some meet and greet set up. I had a meet and greet set up for Thursday afternoon and then one on Saturday morning where people could come and definitely find me in a certain spot to come say hi. And to all of you that I met in person while at the expo, thank you for coming to the meetup. Thank you for stopping me when you just saw me, you know, shopping and wandering around the vendor booths. Thank you for coming and saying something. It just truly humbles me every time I get to meet you guys in person. It fills my cup, and I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. It was my absolute joy and pleasure to get to put faces to names, or just to meet some of you for, you know, the first time. I had quite a few people that are like, you know, I don't comment, but which is fine. It was still really, really wonderful to chat with you and to see you and to see what's on the other side of the camera. It's really nice to be able to do that and to make some connections, and that, yeah, that really, really fills my cup. So thank you very much. Jenny and I spent most of the day on Thursday shopping, and we talked to a few different vendors, just about maybe some ways that we could collaborate and that sort of thing going forward. But we did do a lot of shopping. Now, I kept being told by people that were at the expo that it used to be bigger, number one, but that it also used to have a lot more garment sewing, you know, like more garment, like patterns, like clothing patterns, as well as more garment sewing fabric. There was garment sewing fabric there, apparel fabric. There were a few booths of clothing pattern designers, and then a lot of crossover, obviously, with the quilting and garment sewing worlds. Then there was some yarn and, knitting and crocheting classes that were happening and all sorts of stuff. An embroidery booth. I bought my daughter an embroidery kit. It's like a little teeny thing to bring back as a little gift for her when we came back. But yeah, all in all, it was, I thought it was wonderful though. This was my first time seeing it. I thought it was absolutely wonderful. We had such a good time. We saw so many good things in all of the booths. And you'll see that here in just a second. You can kind of see the pile a little bit. That's what is sitting over here in the chair next to me, is everything I grabbed at the expo. So we did most of our shopping on Thursday, met up with some people, had a wonderful time. We got in really late on Wednesday, so Thursday was an early night for us. We just got dinner and had it delivered to our hotel and went to bed really early because Friday morning we woke up and we took 3 classes, which were wonderful. I took Aronica Coles, who is Needle in the Bell on Instagram. She is fabulous. I took her projector sewing class, and I am so glad that I did. She answered so many of my questions. I think I got the projector part figured out. Now it's just the alterations on the computer part to figure out. But luckily for me, she offers virtual class. And I think she offers a projector sewing 101 and a 201. I need the 201 class now. But she was wonderful to meet in person. She is such a wonderful teacher. She presents so well. She's funny. She's engaging. She's knowledgeable. All of the things. I really enjoyed taking both of her classes. I'll talk about the second one here in a minute. But the projector class was super helpful for me to take, and I am absolutely ready to tackle my sewing projector. So if you've been waiting over a year for me to finally plug that in, Jenny, who is the scientist brain, right? She's like, oh, I'll get this calibrated for you. No problem. So I'm like, perfect. I was a little worried about that. There's the projector for sewing Facebook group that's very helpful with that as well. But I'm going to let Jenny do all the calibration, and then I'm going to figure out how to alter all of my patterns digitally so that I can really make use of the projector. But you're going to be seeing some. I'm not going completely projector sewing, so don't worry. If that's something that you're not interested in seeing, that's absolutely fine. I'll still be using, PDF and paper patterns and all of that. But I am excited to start dipping my toe into the projector sewing world. And we'll take you guys along for that process, obviously, as it goes. Then we took a class from Ed Donahue, who is one of my students in my in-person sewing class. Hi, Ed. And she taught a class on using apps for sewing, which was so informative as well. Just ways you can organize your sewing and the different apps that are available and all of that. I can share more about as I start to dig into that a little bit more. But that was a really fun class, and I learned a lot in that one as well. And then the third class that we took was Aronica's. Aronica taught a ton of classes over the whole, 4 days or whatever. Actually, I think there were classes on Wednesday too. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Anyway, she taught a ton of classes over the whole shebang of the conference. But I took her planning a cohesive wardrobe class, which was really, I wanted to take it just to kind of, you guys know that I'm all about the wardrobe sewing, and I just wanted to see another take on it. And we're pretty much in line on our thoughts on not necessarily like a whole bunch of capsule wardrobes in your closet. So a cohesive closet. It was a really good class as well. And again, she's a fabulous teacher, and that was wonderful to take that. So Friday was mostly class taking. We did pop around the expo a little bit more. We didn't realize there was a second pavilion until the end of like Thursday, and we went over there and kind of just quickly, we were getting tired, so we just kind of quickly popped around. So we poked around there a little bit more on Friday, and then we had some dinner plans with some people and did that, and that was wonderful. We just had a dinner at a lovely little restaurant there in Puyallup. And then on Saturday, we went back. We had our meet and greet, and then went back, talked to a few other people that we kind of had some scheduled meetings with, and went back to the other pavilion and did a little bit more shopping. Not a ton of shopping on Saturday. Jenny did the majority of her shopping on Saturday. She had been eyeing a few things, especially when it came to the yarn and stuff like that. So it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. I do think if I were going not in the capacity of like setting up meetings with some of the brands and stuff as well as meeting people. If I were going in the capacity of just going to the expo to go to the expo, I think 2 days would have been plenty. I think a day to do the floor and then a day to take classes, or a mix. You know, maybe take classes on both days and then also walk the floor on both days, would have been perfect. I don't know, we were at the expo probably until early afternoon-ish on Saturday, and then we were just beat. So we went back and then drove into Tacoma for dinner by the harbor. Yeah, which was absolutely beautiful and a good way to end our trip. And then we flew home on Sunday. We had a later flight, so we didn't have to like get up and rush to get to the airport. But that's a long travel day going from Seattle back to Indianapolis. So it was tiring, but again, just so much fun. We had so much fun. We are going, if any of you are Midwest, Jenni and I are attending. I've not been to any of these sewing expos, so I can't speak to how good they are, but we are going to be attending the Sewing Expo in Cleveland, which is in April. It's like April, I think we're going the Thursday and Friday. Is that right? I think we're driving in on Thursday, and then we're going to go Thursday and then also on Friday. I think that's right. Or maybe we're just doing all day on Friday. Now I can't remember. But anyway, it's the weekend of like April. The Friday is like the 19th, April 19th. Anyway, it's that weekend is the Cleveland Sewing Expo, and Jenni and I will be tooling around there as well to see what they've got to offer. And yeah, anyway, if you're going to be in the area and if you see me, definitely stop me, say hey. I just love meeting you guys in person. It really makes me happy. So that in a nutshell was the Sewing Expo. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, there were some really cool, I mean, you're going to see I did a lot of shopping. But before we get into that, I want to show you the two things that I grabbed online. Stylemaker was not at the Sewing Expo, but I did grab 2 pieces of fabric online with my birthday coupon. So my birthday was in February, and when you sign up for their newsletter with Stylemaker Fabrics, they give you a 20% off coupon to use during the month of your birthday. So I always use it. And I grabbed 2 pieces of fabric, and they both have uses. So I got some of this beautiful olive green cotton twill. I got 4 yards of this. If you have watched my spring sewing plans, you know that I want to make a pair of Largo cargos, Love Notion Largo cargos, and the Love Notion cleft coat. And I kind of said I was looking for a olive twill. Got it right here. So I'll be making both of those pieces out of this yardage here. Both a pair of pants and a little jacket for the spring. So I had my eye on that for my spring capsule. And again, there's a lot here. There's 4 yards of it, and it feels beautiful. And then, if you all are aware, the Pantone color of the year is Peach Fuzz, which is on my color card. And I'm doing a little video about that, about how all the color palettes can incorporate Peach Fuzz into their wardrobe, whether you're just not wearing it by your face or different colors you can use to substitute for Peach Fuzz. Anyway, that video will be coming out a couple weeks. I don't know. Or I'm kind of talking about that if that's something you're interested in trying. Anyway, I was always a little worried that peach was going to be a little too skin toned for me. And even though it's on my color card and one of my, you know, best colors, I think a little bit of PTSD from wearing too much dusty pink. Which does make me look like I'm naked. I think I was a little worried that peach was going to do that to me as well. So I'm like, I'm going to order a piece of fabric and make myself a top out of it and just see how my feelings on the color of peach. And guys, I love it. I love it. I draped it around me when it came, and I'm like, oh, this is a nice soft color. Like a nice not pastel, but a nice lighter color for me to wear this spring. This is a Waffle Net, again, from Stylemaker Fabrics, and in this beautiful peach color. This may have been a remnant, too, that I bought. I can't remember now. Anyway, I'm going to make the, I think I'm going to make the seam work Ellie Henley. I've made that before, and loved it. I made it out of a merino wool. It was actually when I did that T-shirt week back in 2020. I made that, but yeah, I kind of want to make another one. So anyway, I think a Waffle Knit Henley, I mean, it feels like those go together, but just to be another little T-shirt to pop into my wardrobe for the spring and summer would be kind of nice. So Got this little waffle knit, and I think I've got two, I think this was a remnant. I think I've got 2 yards of it. I think I just, you know, bought the remnant of it. It would make a lovely cardigan as well. But I think I want a t-shirt. And maybe I'll have enough to do a shorter cardigan too. That might be kind of fun. So anyway, those are the 2 fabrics I grabbed from Stylemaker that had nothing to do with Sewing Expo. I just grabbed them and hadn't shown them to you guys. Okay, let's dig into this haul from Sewing Expo. The first place that, on Friday, the first purchase, I guess, that I made, was this cute little shop called, Maker's Mercantile. That's what it was called. I will link this stuff down below. They were primarily knitting, crocheting, you know, they were selling knitting needles, they were selling some yarn, all that kind of stuff. They were a small little shop. But they did have some, there was a lot of bag makers that were there at the Sewing Expo. But they had some kits of these really cute little bags that they were making. And then also I noticed they had the Albstoff ribbing, the cuffing. If you guys remember, also I think this was during T-shirt week back in 2020. I had bought some of this from an Etsy seller. And I used it for, maybe it was even before T-shirt week, when I was doing all the vlogging, like the everyday vlogging all the time. And I had used some of this for my daughter for a sweatshirt, for like the bottom band and the cuffs and stuff. And then I'd used some of this on a t-shirt of my own. And then I told you all about it. And then the seller on Etsy quit shipping to the US when COVID hit. And I couldn't find it anymore. Now, I will say, when I was talking to the people in this stand, they had a ton of it. She said the same thing. They can't get it anymore. So what they've got is what they've got, and they're selling it. I will link them down below if you want to try and grab what you can. So I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know if it had to do, yeah, I don't know, but it's, you can't get it. I mean, it's like impossible to get in the US now. I think you can still get it if you're in Europe, or I think you could probably still get it, but it was, yeah, I bought 7 rolls. So Jenny picked out some for her. She picked out this one and this one that she thought might be kind of fun to do a sweatshirt for her. And then I picked out, look at this. This is so cute. I grabbed this for my daughter because they coordinate. Look, they're like little hearts. And then the stripe. Like, how cute is that? Would that be in a coordinating like sweatshirt of some sort, or like a sweater dress or a sweatshirt? I don't even know, but I just thought that was so cute. So I grabbed that one. Mostly, I mean, I guess it kind of is a little, it's my warmer colors, but this blue is definitely in her color palette, so we can play around with it. But yeah, I thought that was just too cute to pass up. And then I grabbed 3 for myself. This like warm red that has the, I guess it's a chocolate brown, and then a mustard, and then there's a little bit of pink in there. And then I grabbed this mustard that has the hot pink with the real warm red. And then I grabbed this navy that's got like the real warm brown with the pink and the cream. So I grabbed 7 of these, but I can't find them anymore, and they're so fun to use. So, I mean, I'm not going to use these all right away. A lot of them will probably sit in my stash for a while. But I just felt like I needed to grab them while I could. She had a big bucket, and I was digging through the big bucket and all that kind of stuff. It was really fun. Anyway, that is what I grabbed from them. Then we went over and to Kai Scissors. Kai Scissors was there, and we talked with them a little bit, but I was interested in trying out some of their scissors. So I used to use these scissors when I worked in the bridal workroom, when I was still working in the alterations and bridal workroom before I started the channel, and they were lovely. I love my LDH scissors that I use. I've got a pair of shears, and then I've got their rotary blades. But I just was interested in, you know, trying out some other things. These are so lightweight. I couldn't get over how lightweight these are. And you can send them off to be sharpened. So you send them back to Kai to be sharpened when they need to be sharpened. Anyway, I know their serrated scissors are fantastic for silk. I've used those in the bridal workroom before, but I just went ahead and got the professional, just the gift set. So it's their 8-inch professional shears, their 6-inch shears, and their 4.5-inch like little snips. I kind of feel like the 6-inch ones would be good for like a tailor's point. clipping into seams and stuff like that. I'll probably leave that by my sewing machine. To be honest, my Ginger scissors are kind of on their last leg and they're in the cutting room. I'll probably replace them with this. These are just so much lighter than those metal Gingers are as well. So anyway, and then I can always use snips. So I bought this little starter, or got this little starter set here, professional gift set, and yeah, very excited about that. Trying those out. Where do I want to go next with this? Okay, I almost missed them, and then someone that I met at the show was like, oh, did you see the notion stand that was set up? They had some really beautiful notions, and I had totally missed it. So, I went back over to in the other building, and oh my gosh, they are called, hold on, their website was on here, Professional Sewing Supplies, and they were lovely. It was the woman that ran it, and I think it was her husband and daughter that were working the booth with her, but it's all Japanese, like Japanese notions, beautiful, like professional Japanese notions, just stunning quality. And I grabbed a couple of things. Number one, I grabbed a couple of of their really fine interfacings. So this one, I got the black, which this is, I'm not going to show them to you because it can't really, you know, tell. A yard of the black of the cotton. So this is a really, really lightweight cotton interfacing for cotton lawn. So I'm thinking like in cotton lawn shirts where I want some structure, but I don't want it to be like super structured. I'm going to try that with this. And then I also got their, what does she call this? This is their extra fine interfacing. It feels like, I mean, it's not silk, but it feels almost like a silk chiffon on one side and then the glue on the other side. So she had samples of like silk fabric, really drapey silk fabric with and without the interfacing. Oh, it just left it so light and beautiful and lovely. You guys know I have a ton of silk. So between, you know, going to Italy and then Mood and then I bought some more. Anyway, I thought I will definitely use this. So I got a 3-yard bundle of this beautiful, it was pricey, but this beautiful interfacing that she was selling. So I'm just anxious to try these out. These are interfacings that Linda Lee with Sewing Workshop and also the Tilton sisters use a ton. She was saying she sells to both of them quite a bit. So I'm anxious to try those out and see how those go. And then I got some silk pins, which can be really hard to find. They're glass-headed, but they're really fine silk pins. But I do notice that I'm going to save these just for my silk because sometimes my pins that I use just for everything else will catch a little bit on my silk. So, and these are hard to find. The real fine silk pins with the glass heads. So I grabbed a little box of those. And then, oh, I wanted to show you. I bought a refill for my chalkener, but let me go grab my chalkener real quick so I can show you what that even is. Okay, so this is the chalkener, and it is a, I use it, it's a chalk liner. So, you know, can you see the line? It makes a, barely. It leaves a chalk line. Why is that so hard for me to say? But it is fantastic. It is more expensive than what you can get at the big box stores that do the chalk lining. But it is so fine and the precision on it is just impeccable. And then this little thing up here just brushes your chalk line off really, really well. Anyway, mine is white chalk and I don't even know how to refill it, to be honest. I'm going to have to look that up. But I noticed that I'm having a little bit a harder time getting it to come out. I'm just thinking it's getting low. I've had this one for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years probably, and haven't had to refill the chalk yet. But she was selling these in different colors. You could get them with blue, red, yellow, and white chalk in them, and then you could buy the refills. So I bought the white refills for, oh, here it goes. It even tells me how to refill it. I just hadn't looked at it. Gets all the instructions on how to refill the chalkener. So anyway, I bought the refills to go with this. It's just my favorite chalk tool. I mean, I use my friction pens a ton, but if I actually am having to trace things out on, you know, like, I don't know, if I'm doing pin tucks or something, and I want to trace, you know, draw out the lines so that I can follow those perfectly, I'll use this. Darker fabric, I'll use this if I'm, you know, marking in darts and stuff and I really want to be able to really mark those in and not just leave dots, I'll use this. So this is my little chalk wheel. I use it quite frequently and I got a refill for it. So, and they sell the chalk wheels as well as the refills. Okay, so that was a fun little discovery, and she was just delightful. I really enjoyed chatting with her too. The woman that owned the little shop there. So we had a nice little talk and discussion. So that was really lovely. Okay, then there were a couple, like I said, a couple of garment fabric stalls, one of which was Amanda's Bundles. And I had heard of Amanda's Bundles before, but I made the connection. If you guys are familiar with Sew English, the fabric store, and then they closed, and I'm not sure I don't know if there was like a partner situation that ended. I really don't know what the deal was with that. But Amanda, who was part of that, Sew English, has started her own fabric store now called Amanda's Bundles. She is delightful. She was at the booth on Thursday, I think. I think it was Thursday when we met her. And she was just delightful. But basically what it is, they sell a ton of knit fabrics. They do have some wovens, but a ton of knit fabrics, both stuff that she has sourced and also prints that she prints on her own substrates. Like you can get her own designs, printed designs on fabric as well on a few different bases. So she had that, but she sells it already pre-cut. So, I mean, and I'm going to be honest, when I'm buying knit fabrics, sometimes I'll do 3 yards if I think I want to do like a Wonderlust dress in it. But for the most part, 2 yards when it comes to knit fabrics is a really good amount. She does obviously sell her bundles in different amounts, but she had a ton of the 2-yard bundles just in these big boxes and you got to dig through them. And I grabbed 4 pieces of fabric. Now, the first one I grabbed another of this Waffle Knit, this I think it's called brushed waffle. This brushed waffle fabric. So it's really, really soft on the one side, obviously in this mustard color, really soft on the one side. And I've got a ton of it. So, I mean, again, this could be another Henley, just like the peach, or they got Stylemaker, or it could be a cardigan. But it's got really nice stretch and recovery to it, and it feels just really soft and lovely. So I bought that bundle. And then I bought 3 bundles of athletic wear. So that video is going to be coming out soon too. When does it come out? It comes out soon. But I'm getting ready to make some more active wear because I've been working out at a gym again. And I was trying to use stuff that was all from my stash. But I really wanted a pair of red leggings. I didn't have any red activewear fabric in my stash. But lo and behold, here at Amanda's Bundles, this is her, what was it called? Peached Activewear is what it was called. It is lovely. It feels wonderful. I'm using it for leggings. So I'm making myself a pair of leggings and it passes the squat test. So I'm not showing anyone things I don't want them to see. I have 2 yards of this though, so I have plenty to do, like a pair of leggings and then like a shirt even, or a sports bra, and match. I've got a lot. You know, I can get a pair of leggings out of like a yard of fabric only because I'm very short, especially if they're just ankle length, you know, leggings, if they stop at like my ankle bone. But yeah, I'll be able to do all sorts of stuff with this 2 yards. So I got some of the peached in this color. And then I couldn't help myself. I bought this lime green. This is probably a little more neon. It is more neon than what's on my color card. For working out, why not? There's something bright and cheery. I don't know if I may do leggings in it, but I was kind of thinking more like athletic tops, like maybe a real fitted quarter zip, or, you know, I don't know, maybe some tanks, another sports bra, those kind of things. Maybe leggings. I don't know. Is that too bright for leggings? You'll definitely see me coming. And I walk into the gym, and then just some like workout, like maybe some short sleeve tops for working out. But I just loved that color and grabbed it. And the prices were all really reasonable. I'm trying to think. I've got the bags that they came in. So yeah, the 2 yards of the Peached Performance were $34 a bundle, which comes up to $17 a yard, which is about what, you know, that's very, I mean, anything that I would buy at any other place where I'm buying activewear fabric. I think that's a right on par with price. My brushed waffle was $16. And then I grabbed this. This is an olive green, and this is a Supplix. So Supplix is what Lululemon uses, and all those, you know, Athleta, all those high-end legging places. It's got real dry to the touch, but I just couldn't resist. I have a pair of olive green leggings. You'll see them in when I'm talking about some activewear sewing I'm going to be doing. They're made out of a recycled polyester, and they're just really hot. I think when I bought the fabric, it was meant more for swimwear. Because like, I mean, the sports bra is like not hot on me, but the leggings, when my whole legs are covered up in it, it's just not breathable at all. Supplix, even though it's also polyester, just a little bit more breathable. It's just the way it's woven, I guess. It's an athletic knit, so it's meant to wick and breathe and all of that stuff. But I just couldn't resist. And in my color, you know, I can find Supplix a lot in, you know, your neutral. I mean, this is a neutral, but more of like, you know, your navies, your grays, your blacks. But finding it in a olive green was really exciting. So I grabbed this one too. I may not cut into that one right now, but hopefully I stick going to the gym. So I am going to need somewhat of a wardrobe to be able to go do all of my workouts. We're going to do, I think I'm going to do this one last. These leather pieces. Lots of excitement coming from there. Okay, Jenni and I, we were walking over, so Chic Patterns, which is kind of a vintage independent pattern company. They've got some beautiful things. They had a booth set up, and they did have some fabric, and as we were walking by, this silk caught my eye. They didn't have a ton, but they had some. I mean, look at this. You're also going to die. And you know, silk, when it comes on the roll, it's usually backwards. So it was just like a corner. So you're looking at the wrong side of the fabric. So just a corner of it was kind of tipped over. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to go look at that roll. Look at this fabric. It is a silk charmeuse. Isn't that stunning? And it's wide. It's like 60 inches wide. I bought 4 yards of it. It was only $19 a yard, which is a really good price for silk. But this beautiful silk charmeuse. Now the white is more stark than really what I should be wearing, but the other colors in it are absolutely my colors. So I thought, well, I don't even know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know if it's going to be a dress. I bought 4 yards so I could make a dress if I want to make a dress, or if it'll be a blouse or a slip skirt or all of the above. I don't know. It can't be all the above, but you know, trying to decide. But isn't that, so that's the one that caught my eye. And so I grabbed it. And while I was looking at that fabric, there was another, again, there was only like, I don't know, 6 rolls of fabric in this standing up. And this one caught Jenni's eye, and she's like, oh my gosh, Will, I need that one. So Jenni grabbed this one, also a silk charmeuse. I also grabbed 4 yards in these beautiful colors. Jenni is going to the Derby, the Kentucky Derby, not the weekend that the actual race happens, but the weekend before, like the kickoff of it, with some friends. And she's like, I need a wrap dress. I need a wrap dress for the Derby with a fascinator. She's going to get herself a fascinator in this kind of fuchsia color. Anyway, so I grabbed that one for her as well. And so you'll be seeing that, I'm sure, pop up on the channel. I think she's already picked which wrap dress. There's a wrap dress with seamwork patterns that she has had her eye on. And we know that seamwork patterns fit her really well right out of the gate. So that's one that she's had her eye on. Okay, and then I swung into Simply Classic Handbags, and they have got some of the most beautiful handbag patterns. I don't make bags a ton, but I find them very fun when I do. You know, I made a couple at Christmas time. I have a sew-along actually for the Huxley backpack that I made, gosh, a couple years ago now. And actually that's the backpack I was carrying while I was there at the Sewing Expo. So I've dipped my toe into some bag making, and I do find it really fun because there's no fitting. You know, you're just going along and making a bag. And I talked with them here at this Simply Classic, and I was like, I think I can do one of these a little bit more complicated bags. And I have been looking for a bag to use as my computer bag for a really long time. Just like a tote that I can put my computer, my laptop in its sleeve into it. And there was a bag called the Leah, and I bought the PDF. I don't have the pattern with me. I bought the PDF pattern and the kit to go with it. So I got the this bronzed hardware. So it's all the pieces you need for this Leah bag. And then I bought the leather. So we're going to be doing, let me see if I can undo this and show you the right side of the leather, a red tote bag. You guys know how I feel about red, with camel accents. So I had to get 2 of these smaller hides of this beautiful red, and hopefully you can see maybe the texture on there. I don't know if the camera is going to pick it up or not. But it's got this beautiful like pebbled texture. And then for all of the straps and the contrast pieces, I guess, I'm using this camel, this beautiful camel leather. And Chris, who is the designer behind Simply Classic Handbags, was there at the booth, and she told me that if I run into any issues, I can contact her. So we will be doing this together. You know, I'm comfortable sewing leather like that. I'm absolutely fine with sewing leather, like with my machine and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't do a lot with the handbags. I find them very fun, something different, because, you know, you get to use more hardware, you get to use more tools when you're putting your hardware in. And I need the bag anyway. So we're going to be delving into some bag making this spring as well. And of course, I will be taking each and every one of you along for the ride. I have unrolled that. Now I can't get it rolled back. Each and every one of you along for the ride as we're delving into a little bit of bag making, and I will be making the Leah bag. So, yes, that was very exciting. That was my biggest purchase of the trip. So very excited to get cutting and sewing that up as well. So there you have it. That's a long video. But I just wanted to fill you guys in on my experience with the Sew Expo. If you're interested in maybe attending next year, I may be throwing my hat into the teaching ring. I obviously will let you guys know if that happens. I've been tossing around some ideas. Jenni and I have been playing around some ideas of some different types of classes that we can teach, and the different time frames that they've got available there for the different levels of classes. So anyway, but there were a ton of great classes to choose from this year as well, a ton. So it's definitely worth looking into, especially if you live over on the West Coast, and it's a short little jaunt. Definitely worth trying out. So there you have it. That was my experience at the Sew Expo in Puyallup, Washington. And yeah, we just had a really great time. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. I hope you have a good Friday. I hope you have a good weekend. Get some sewing in. I've got a lot of like reorganization now to do in my sewing room to get all my new stuff put away. But I'm itching. I had so much inspiration at this Sewing Expo. I am itching to get back into my sewing room. So hopefully that's happening for me as well. All right, guys, have a good Friday, and I'll see you guys again on Tuesday. Bye.